Okay, I have been asked to make a follow-up video regarding how I use that power macro that I showed in another video. So remember, I showed you how I hit Control Spacebar and it will prompt me for a stroke. So let's do TWO. Let's enter the cause number 2012 CR 1234, and then let's enter the defendant's name as John Jackson. So boom, 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 there it goes. So I have a case that the judge is about to call, and she'll say something like this. She'll say, the court now calls cause number whatever 2012 CR 1234 United States of America versus John Jackson. So I would hit the court now calls, and I'd hit style 2. And when I hit style 2, if you look up over here, I can hit style 2, and remember that's how I defined it in my power macro. So let's go back here and let's look at my macro and see how it looks in my dictionary. So remember, I did that Control Space Bar, and then I defined, defined style 2 to be this right here versus John Jackson. So it spit that out. Now, if it was an unusual name instead of John Jackson, of course that's easy. I can just hit John Jackson and go on. Maybe John Jackson like that. But remember that macro also does DEFT asterisk 2, and it spits out the same thing. Now if you look here of course I've got John Jackson, and over here I wrote it out. But if it was a really tough name, you can see here I hit DEFT 2 for that. So the court could say, Mr. Def 2, where do you live? See, and I can hit Def 2 if it's an unusual tough name. Now, of course, AutoBrief kind of helped out with some of that when Jeremy put that feature in for those really tough names, in the fact that if you write it a couple of times or even finger spell it, AutoBrief will jump in there and definitely give you some help. But before that feature was available, this was kind of a way that I was able to get around having to struggle with some of those really tough names. So anytime the court would call the case, as they always did consistently, I just hit the symbol for the court. The court now calls number. If they said cause number, then I can hit style 2, spit out the stuff, and then she can say, like, can I have announcements for the record please, or something like that, and I'm good to go. I could also do she would normally say, like, what says the government, and I believe I had a stroke in there, SGOFT for what says the government, and I believe I had SDEFT for what says the defendant. And that was very common things that my judge in federal court would say. So, minimal amount of strokes, I'm able to get a paragraph. The court now calls style 1, period, what says the government, government's ready to proceed. Then she'd say, what says the defendant, defendant's ready to proceed. Mr. Deft 2 is here. Okay, and there you go. So you can see here how I've used some of that macro that I created, the style 1 right here. And of course I did style 1 instead of style 2, and that was the Joe Brown that we created earlier. But if you look down here, I can do style 1, comma, style 2, there may be a style 3, No, there's not a style 3 because remember I took those out. But anyway, that's how I would use the macro to my advantage. And then for Joe Brown, of course I could hit Joe Brown, but remember that was style 1, so it would have been DEFT1, and it would still spit out Joe Brown, and it would spell it and cap it for me the way I had it defined in my dictionary, without me having to go in the long way, which was Control D, dictionary enter, DEFT asterisk space bar WUN, and then hit enter, and then Joe Brown. And you can see up here the entry that's going into my dictionary, my main dictionary, be the same thing. So DEFT1 would spit it out, and then DEFT2 would spit out John Jackson. And if you had a case that had really difficult names, like I had showed earlier, some of the Spanish names, they're a little more difficult to write, and so this is how I was able to shortcut some of that and make it work for me. So I hope that further explains how I was able to use that macro in real time. Thanks.